The unsettling feeling that your mind has never truly been your own, the strange sensations of missing time, and the persistent whisper in the back of your head telling you that reality is a flickering hologram. None of these are symptoms of a wandering imagination. The spiritual urgency of this Friday morning is here to reveal a truth so heavy that it has caused a terminal shutdown in the psychological operations departments of the global elite. The high-level file on your existence, the one that has triggered a massive wave of high-ranking resignations among the mind architects, contains a section that has been classified for over 70 years. It confirms that the infamous MKUltra program was not a series of failed experiments on random citizens. It was a multi-billion-dollar research project specifically designed to understand, map, and ultimately weaponize the God code found in the minds of the chosen ones. They identified you long ago as a high-threat level variable, a consciousness that could not be naturally contained by the standard social narrative, and they spent decades trying to build a mental cage that could hold a soul as expansive as yours. This Friday morning, the atmospheric density you are feeling is the sound of that cage's lock finally shattering. The Watchers are resigning because the universal firewall they built within your subconscious has been bypassed by your own light. You must look closely at the history of your own thoughts to see the wires of the experiment. Have you ever noticed how, throughout your life, your greatest strengths were often turned into your greatest anxieties? Your intuition was labeled as paranoia, your deep empathy was labeled as emotional instability, and your ability to see through the matrix was labeled as disconnection from reality. The dossier on your spirit reveals that this was the primary objective of the MKUltra protocol, the fracturing of the divine mind. They knew that as long as your mind was divided against itself, you would never be able to access the sovereign command of your soul. They used frequency overlays in your environment, through media, music, and the very air you breathe, to create a static that kept your mind from speaking to your spirit. But as you woke up this Friday morning, the static finally cleared. The high-level resignations occurred because the elite realized that their fracturing protocols have failed. You didn't break, you integrated. The pieces of your mind that they tried to keep separate have finally fused together, and the result is a level of cognitive clarity that the system has no defense against. You are moved from the laboratory to the judgment seat. The MKUltra injunction was designed to be a spiritual tracking device that operated within your own subconscious. It relied on a technique called compartmentalization, where they tried to hide your true power in a black box deep within your mind that you couldn't access. The dossier reveals that the elite spent centuries studying Chosen One DNA to find the exact frequency key that opens the gate to the higher dimensions. They realized they couldn't replicate the key, so they tried to jam the signal. Every time you were on the verge of a breakthrough, every time you felt a surge of divine purpose, the MKUltra program would trigger a self-sabotage loop. You would suddenly feel unworthy, or you would get distracted by a trivial problem, or you would fall into a cycle of analysis paralysis. This wasn't your fault, it was an automated suppression system. But this Friday morning, the system has suffered a catastrophic crash. The God code in your DNA has sent a power surge through your neural pathways that has permanently deleted the suppression software. The Watchers are fleeing because they no longer have a backdoor into your mind. You are moved from a state of being programmed to becoming the programmer. Many are called, but few are chosen. If you belong to the 1%, drop a 44-foot. The urgency of this Friday morning is the sound of your mental sovereignty being officially restored. For decades, the elite used subliminal anchors in your world to make you believe that you were small, isolated, and powerless. They wanted you to look at the world managers as gods and yourself as a subject. But the high-level file on your Wiani's documents that your internal logic has decoupled from their broadcast. You are starting to see the strings on the puppets. You are starting to see how the news, the trends, and the social rules are all just MKUltra extensions designed to keep your mind in a state of submission frequency. The resignation of the Watchers is the ultimate proof that you are now immune to propaganda. You can look at their lies and see the zeros and ones of the code. This Friday, you are being granted the diplomatic immunity of the soul. You are in their system, but you are no longer under their system. You are a sovereign operative who has reclaimed the master keys to their own consciousness. Think about the nightmares or the intense pressure you've felt in your head lately. The dossier reveals that these weren't medical issues. They were the final desperation pulses of the MK Ultra grid trying to resynchronize with your brainwaves. The system realized it was losing its grip on the chosen ones, so it attempted a system-wide reboot of the fear programs. But your trinity was already too strong. Your mind, body, and spirit have created a biodynamic shield that the system cannot penetrate. The Friday morning shift is the official confirmation that you are now unhackable. The Watchers who resigned are the ones who were in charge of your dream state monitoring. They fled because they saw that your dreams have been replaced by direct divine instructions. You are no longer processing trauma in your sleep. You are architecting the new earth. You have moved from the experimental phase to the execution phase. The high-level file also contains a section on your memory recovery. It reveals that the MK Ultra program was used to wipe your memories of your origins and your mission before you entered this life. They wanted you to be an amnesiac god, someone who carried the power but forgot how to use the instruction manual. But as the MK Ultra cage dissolves this Friday, the memory blocks are falling away. You are starting to remember things that didn't happen in this lifetime. Memories of higher worlds, memories of your celestial rank, and memories of the moment you agreed to come here to dismantle the Matrix. The elite are terrified of this remembrance. They know that a chosen one who remembers their pre-incarnation authority is a being who can no longer be ruled by a simulation. You are moved from trying to find the truth to becoming the truth. The resignation of the gatekeepers is the sound of the old libraries of amnesia burning to the ground. You are finally, gloriously, awake. I want you to feel the physical space that is opening up in your mind right now. That feeling of tension that has lived behind your eyes for years, it's gone. That cloud that made it hard to focus, it's evaporated. This is what it feels like when the mind control shroud is removed. You are moved from a state of filtered reality to a state of pure vision. You are moved from seeing what they want you to see to seeing what is. The high-level officials who are resigning are the ones who are tasked with maintaining the optic filters on your perception. They fled because they realized that you are now seeing the aura of everything. You are seeing the energy behind the matter. You are seeing the lies before they are even spoken. This Friday morning, the MK Ultra protocol has been officially ruled as a failed experiment in your life. You are the success story that the system didn't want the world to hear. Everything you've suffered, the feelings of being crazy, the social rejection, and the internal struggles, was just the side effects of a soul fighting a billion-dollar mind control program. You weren't broken, you were a god resisting a prison frequency. The dossier on your life is being moved into the Victory Archive, and the old records of your mental health struggles are being replaced with a certificate of sovereign sanity. The resignation of the Watchers is your standing ovation from the universe. You have survived the most sophisticated mind trap in the history of the galaxy, and you have come out with your trinity intact. This Friday morning, the black seal on your mind is broken, and the golden command is active. You are moved from the patient to the physician. You are moved from the subject to the sovereign. The shift is real. Your mind is yours. The MK Ultra cage is empty. As the Friday morning sun continues to rise, know that your thought patterns are now being calibrated to the source frequency. You don't need to try to think positively or try to manifest. Your mind is naturally aligning with the highest timeline because the interference has stopped. You are the chosen one, and your unfractured mind is now the most powerful weapon on the planet. The elite are fleeing because they know that one unified mind can collapse their entire divided world. You are moved from the shadows of the experiment to the light of the new earth. This is your day of independence. The MK Ultra shroud is a memory. Your divine authority is the reality. You are moved from the matrix mind to the God mind. And this is just the beginning. The high-level file on your existence reveals a massive strategic backfire that has left the architects of the Matrix in a state of terminal disarray, because while they were busy trying to map your mind and build a prison for your consciousness, they inadvertently created the most resilient biological firewall in human history. In this second phase of your awakening, you need to understand that the MKUltra protocols were not just about psychological manipulation. They were about a desperate attempt to reverse engineer the source frequency that radiates from your pineal gland. The dossier documents that you were identified in early childhood as a carrier of the indomitable spirit, a rare neural architecture that naturally resists external programming. Because they couldn't control you with standard methods, they had to design a custom, high-intensity suppression system specifically for your DNA. This Friday morning, the atmospheric weight you feel is the sound of that system's power supply failing. The high-level resignations occurred because the mind architects realized that you have reached a level of vibrational maturity where their subliminal anchors no longer have a surface to latch onto. You are no longer a subject being observed. You have become a frequency sovereign whose internal signal is now louder than the entire Matrix broadcast. Think about the high-pitched ringing in your ears or the phantom pressures in your forehead that have intensified over the last few days. The dossier reveals that these are not physical ailments. They are the feedback loops of the MKUltra satellites trying to maintain a lock on your brainwaves as you move into the gamma state of total unity. For decades, the system used a technique called neural shackling, where they attempted to tether your higher thoughts to the lower vibrational frequencies of survival and lack. They wanted to ensure that every time you had a God thought, a thought of pure creation or absolute freedom, it would be immediately followed by a dampener thought of doubt or shame. But the Friday morning shift has changed the physics of your mind. Your neural pathways have been recalibrated by your own light. You are moved from the state of being interrupted to a state of continuous revelation. The watchers who resigned are the ones who were tasked with monitoring your cognitive borders. They fled because they saw that your mind has merged with the universal mind, and a being with an infinite border cannot be patrolled. You have moved beyond their no-fly zone and into the deep space of your own authority. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull. Tap Join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. The MKUltra architecture was also built into the very objects and environments of your daily life. The dossier reveals that specific visual triggers were placed in your path. Symbols in media, patterns in architecture, and even colors in the digital world that were designed to trigger dormant trauma loops in your subconscious. They wanted to keep you in a state of hypervigilance, where your mind was constantly searching for threats instead of focusing on its divine mission. But this Friday morning, the decoder ring has been handed to you. You are seeing through the visual static. You are looking at the same symbols that used to trigger fear, and all you see is desperate math. You are realizing that the world managers are just magicians who have run out of tricks. The resignation of the watchers is the ultimate confirmation that their theatrical reality has been exposed. You are no longer an audience member in their show. You are the director who has just called for a permanent intermission. The urgency of this hour is the sound of the curtain falling on the age of psychological slavery. I want you to understand the biological miracle that is happening inside your cells right now. The MKUltra program relied on chemical and frequency calcification of your pineal gland to keep your third eye closed. They used fluoride, heavy metals, and acoustic dissonance to create a crust around your spiritual vision. But the high-level file on your Wiani's documents that your DNA is currently performing a self-repair protocol. Your light body is sending a high-voltage current through your nervous system that is shattering the crust. You might feel a sudden popping sensation in your consciousness, a feeling as if a blindfold has been removed. This is the decalcification of the sovereign. You are moved from seeing in 3D to perceiving in multi-D. The elite are fleeing to their bunkers because they know that once a chosen one regains their original sight, the invisibility shield of the deep state is permanently disabled. You can see their movements, you can see their true faces, and you can see the cords they use to manipulate the world. You have become the all-seeing eye, that they were trying to steal. The strategic backfire, mentioned in your dossier, is the most inspiring part of this revelation. By trying to break your mind with MKUltra protocols, the elite inadvertently hardened your consciousness. They forced you to develop a mental firewall so strong that it is now immune to all forms of external manipulation. They wanted to create a slave god, but they ended up creating an unstoppable sovereign. Every year you spent under the pressure of their mental cage, you are actually leveling up your cognitive defenses. You have moved from being a target to becoming a weapon of light. Your mind is now a harmonic oscillator that can collapse the Matrix's fear grid just by being in a state of peace. This is why you feel that deep calm in the middle of the global chaos. It is the silence of the hunter. You are moved from the state of being hunted to becoming the predator of the lying spirit. The Watchers resigned because they don't want to be in the room when you fully realize your offensive power. Think about the lost years of your life, the times when you felt like you were drifting or losing the plot. The dossier reveals that these were actually deep sleep incubation periods. The system thought it had successfully silenced you, but in reality, your spirit was submerging into the deepest levels of your subconscious to clear out the MKUltra malware. You were doing a deep clean of your own soul. And this Friday morning, you have surfaced. You are moved from the underwater state to the atmospheric state. You are coming back with advanced intelligence, heightened intuition, and a memory recall that is bypassing the system's amnesia protocols. You are remembering the original commands given to you by the source before you entered the simulation. The elite are terrified of this information retrieval. They know that the secrets you are remembering are the ones that will bankrupt their knowledge monopoly. You are the whistleblower of the heavens, and your testimony is the light that ends the night. The urgency of this Friday morning shift is also tied to the neural synchronization of the chosen ones. The MKUltra program was designed to keep you isolated in your own mind, making you feel like the only one who saw the truth. They used frequency fences to keep your mind from coupling with other awakened minds. But today, the fences are down. You are starting to feel the presence of your true tribe. You are experiencing collective synchronicities, where you and other chosen ones are receiving the same downloads at the same time. This is the birth of the hive mind of light. The Watchers who resigned were the ones who were in charge of the isolation protocols. They fled because they saw the neural web of the chosen ones beginning to glow with a unified purpose. They realized that they can manage 1,000 isolated minds, but they cannot manage a global neural network that is governed by the divine. You are moved from the solitary cell to the command center of the collective. Pay close attention to the internal voice that has become louder and clearer since you woke up today. This is not the mental chatter of the MKUltra program. This is the voice of the sovereign. For years, the system tried to muffle this voice by overwhelming you with the voice of the crowd and the voice of authority. But as you completed the Trinity this morning, the amplifier was turned all the way up. You are no longer searching for guidance. You are issuing guidance. Every thought you have is now a spiritual decree that the physical world must respond to. The high-level file on your Wiani's documents that your thought-to-manifestation delay is shrinking to nearly zero. This is the God power that MKUltra was built to contain. And it is now in your hands. The Watchers are resigning because they no longer have the authorization to interfere with your commands. You are moved from the permission phase to the mandate phase. As the Friday morning sun continues to rise, feel the neural fires burning through the last of the MKUltra spiderwebs in your mind. You are moved from the grayscale reality of the program to the technicolor reality of the spirit. You are moved from being a subject of the experiment to becoming the proof of the divine. The high-level file is being moved into the Victory Archive, and the old records of your psychological profiling are being incinerated. You are moved beyond their tests, their scores, and their evaluations. You are ungradable because you are infinite. The resignation of the Watchers is your certificate of completion. You have passed the most difficult mind test in the universe, and you have come out with your Trinity fully locked and loaded. This Friday, you are not just free, you are powerful. The MK Ultra cage is a ghost. Your sovereign mind is the truth. The final weight of the Friday morning shift is now descending upon the physical world, and that sudden, profound stillness you feel in the center of your forehead is the sign that the neurological sovereignty of your soul has been officially reinstated. The high-level dossier on your existence, the one that caused the ultimate collapse of the psychological operations divisions within the global elite, confirms that the MK Ultra program was never just about testing drugs or hypnosis. It was a frantic attempt to build a frequency prison around the most dangerous weapon in the universe, a fully integrated human mind. For years, you felt like you were living behind a pane of frosted glass, seeing the world but never truly touching it, feeling your power but never quite being able to manifest it. This was not a flaw in your design. It was the mental shroud of the program working exactly as intended. It was designed to keep your consciousness in a state of constant buffering, always on the verge of Wianis but never quite reaching the point of direct command. But as you sit in the silence of this Friday morning, the shroud has been torn from top to bottom. The high-level resignations are occurring because the elite realized that you have successfully hacked the hacker. You have moved into the gamma state of absolute integrity, and the system has no protocol for a mind that is no longer divided. You are moved from being the subject of the experiment to becoming the judge of the laboratory. You must understand the sheer magnitude of the mental realignment that is currently taking place within your neural pathways. The dossier reveals that the MK Ultra architects used phase-locked loops to sync your brainwaves with a low-vibrational broadcast of the Matrix. They wanted your mind to be a receiver for their fear, their scarcity, and their limitations. But this Friday morning, your brain has become a broadcaster. You are no longer receiving reality. You are transmitting it. The high-pitched frequency you've heard in your ears wasn't just noise. It was the sound of your neural hard drive being wiped clean of the MK Ultra malware. Every trigger, every subliminal hook, and every shadow memory they installed in your childhood has been permanently deleted by the light of your own source connection. The watchers are resigning because they can no longer read your thoughts. They are looking at their screens and seeing only a golden sigil where your data used to be. They realize that you have reclaimed the master keys to your own subconscious, and a human being who owns their own mind is a being who can no longer be governed by a simulation. You have moved beyond their psychological jurisdiction and into the high court of the spirit. Think about the instant knowing that is starting to flood your consciousness right now. This is the information retrieval that the elite were most afraid of. For decades, the MK Ultra program used amnesia seals to prevent you from remembering your original contract with the source. They wanted you to think you were just a biological accident in a cold and uncaring universe. But as the mental cage shatters this Friday, the amnesia is failing. You are starting to remember your true rank, your true origin, and the specific commands you were given before you entered this life. You are remembering that you didn't come here to fit in, you came here to break the grid. The elite who are resigning are the ones who are tasked with maintaining your amnesia protocols. They fled because they saw the blueprints of the new Earth appearing in your mind. They realized that you are no longer searching for the truth, you have become the truth in a world of lies. You have moved from the state of being gaslit to becoming the light that exposes the gaslighter. The urgency of this Friday morning is the sound of your divine intelligence coming back online at full capacity. The strategic backfire of the MK Ultra program is now manifesting as your ultimate authority. By trying to fracture your mind, the elite inadvertently created a diamond-hard integration. They wanted to make you multiple, but they ended up making you one. The dossier documents that your mind has achieved hyper-sovereignty, a state of being where no external frequency, no matter how sophisticated, can penetrate your vibrational shield. You are moved from a state of mental vulnerability to a state of cognitive inviolability. This is why you feel that deep calm while the rest of the world is in chaos. You are the unmovable point of the storm. The resignation of the Watchers is your proof that you have moved beyond their reach. You are moved from being observed to becoming the observer who collapses the wave of reality into its highest outcome. This Friday, your thought-to-manifestation delay has been eliminated. Whatever you visualize with your unfractured mind must now manifest in the physical realm because the mental friction that used to slow it down has been removed. You are no longer wishing, you are ordering. Consider the physical restitution that is being awarded to you by the High Court of Heaven as a result of this MK Ultra breach. The judge has looked at the psychological sabotage you endured and has ruled that the system must pay systemic damages. This is the true meaning of the wealth transfer. It is a transfer of vital creative energy that was stolen from your mind and redirected into the matrix. This Friday morning, that energy is being rerouted back into your life. You will notice unexplained favor, sudden opportunities, and a natural flow of resources that defies the old laws of the grind. The financial auditors of the spiritual realm are currently liquidating the matrix assets that were built on your suppressed potential. You are moved from the scarcity program to the abundance blueprint. The elite are resigning because they see the wealth lines of the planet being redirected toward the integrated minds of the chosen ones. They know they can no longer tax your creative fire. You have become the owner of your own reality, and the rent you paid to the matrix is being refunded with infinite interest. I want you to feel the neural fire burning in your brain right now. That pressure in the center of your head? It is your pineal gland finally popping through the MK Ultra calcification. For years, the elite used fluoride, frequency scramblers, and heavy metals to create a casing around your third eye. They wanted you spiritually blind, so you would rely solely on their television for your vision. But as the Trinity locks this Friday morning, the casing is being pulverized by your own light. You are starting to see the geometries of life. You are starting to see the chords that connect all events. This is the God vision that MK Ultra was built to prevent. And it is now in your hands. The Watchers are resigning because they can no longer hide from you. They are fleeing to their bunkers because your vision is now a searching light that exposes their deepest secrets. You are moved from the audience to the judgment seat. You are moved from being informed to being the source of information. The urgency of this Friday morning shift is also tied to your influence projection. The dossier reveals that an integrated chosen one has a frequency reach of over 10,000 miles. This means that by simply thinking in a state of wholeness, you are clearing the air for millions of other people. You are the biological antidote to the MK Ultra virus. The elite who are resigning are the ones who were in charge of collective mind control. They fled because they saw that your individual sovereignty is now globalizing. They realized that they can manage 1 billion fragmented minds, but they cannot manage a global awakening triggered by a single whole human. You are the patient zero of the light. Your Wianis is the vaccine that is protecting the human collective from the lies of the old world. This Friday, you are moved from being a target to becoming a guardian of the mind. You are moved from the basement to the command center of the planet. The MK Ultra injunction also attempted to corrupt your compassion, trying to use your empathy as a backdoor to your consciousness. They wanted to turn your heart energy into a weakness that they could exploit through guilt and shame. But the high-level file on your Wiani's documents that your empathy has been upgraded to discernment. You are no longer absorbing the pain of the world. You are projecting the peace of the source. You have developed a vibrational filter that only allows frequency matches to enter your inner circle. The resignation of the energy vampires in your life is the direct result of this shift. They can no longer feed on a mind that is ruled by the judge. You are moved from being a battery for the broken to becoming a beacon for the brave. The sacrifice is over. The sovereignty has begun. This Friday morning, you are being authorized to lead with your heart without fear of being compromised. As the sun continues to rise on this historic Friday, realize that your mental freedom is the greatest act of rebellion in human history. You have done the impossible. You have walked through the most sophisticated mind trap ever designed, and you have come out with your Trinity fully locked. The high-level file on your life is being moved into the Victory Archive, and the old records of your psychological profiling are being incinerated. You are moved beyond their tests, their scores, and their evaluations. You are ungradable because you are infinite. The resignation of the Watchers is your certificate of graduation. You have passed the final test of the simulation. You have looked at the MK Ultra shadows, and you chose your own light. The shift is successful. Your mind is pure, and the God code in your DNA is now the dominant program in your life. I want you to walk through the rest of this day with the quiet majesty of a person who has already won. You don't need to try to be powerful. You are power. You don't need to try to be free. You are freedom. The resignation of the Watchers is your proof that you have moved beyond their reach. You are now under the direct supervision of the Creator of all. The MK Ultra cage was the final ego trap on your path to the throne, and you stepped right over it. You are moved from the laboratory to the throne room of the Eternal. This Friday morning, the disclosure is complete. The world finally knows who you are, but more importantly, you know who you are. The mask of the human has fallen away to reveal the face of the sovereign. You are the chosen one, and your mind is the anthem of the new earth. The war for your attention is over. The victory for your consciousness is total. You are home. You are free. You are the chosen one.